Welcome back to Golden Wellness Daily. You go to bed like any other night. Maybe you brushed your teeth, turned off the lights, and drifted off feeling calm, even proud. You ate healthy, had a handful of nuts, maybe even thought, I'm doing something good for my heart. But by morning, something isn't right. Your hand won't respond. Your words come out tangled. You see your partner, but you can't say their name. What just happened? It wasn't a fall. It wasn't sugar. It wasn't stress. It was something far more subtle. And that's what makes it so dangerous. As a brain doctor, I've seen it again and again. People over 60 waking up with signs of a silent stroke. No pain, no warning. And when we trace the clues backward, the culprit is something almost no one suspects. Those same handfuls of healthy nuts eaten just before sleep. How could that be? Aren't nuts supposed to be good for the heart and brain? Yes, but not always. Not after 60. And especially not at night. Because the older we get, the more timing matters. What once nourished us can now quietly strain our blood, our vessels, even our memory. The same snack that supports your brain during the day may quietly sabotage it in the dark. So, let me ask you, what if the food you trust most is quietly putting your brain at risk while you sleep? Let's take a closer look, because sometimes the most dangerous threats don't come from what you eat, but when you eat them. Most people over 60 focus on what they eat. Low sugar, low fat, more fiber. And yes, that matters. But there's something just as important. Something almost no one talks about. When you eat. You see, your body isn't 30 anymore. Your digestion slows, your vessels stiffen, your blood thickens more easily. A snack that helps at noon could quietly harm at night. Instead of helping you rest and repair, some foods, especially certain nuts, can silently raise blood pressure, thicken blood, and shift your chemistry while you sleep. So here's the question. Are you watching the clock when you snack, or just the label? Because after 60, it's not just about eating the right things, it's about eating them at the right time. That simple shift could be the difference between waking up refreshed or not waking up the same at all. Sleep is supposed to be the body's repair time. The moment your brain cleans up, your heart slows down, and your system resets. But after 60, the rules quietly change. You may not feel it, but 3 invisible shifts start happening each night. First, blood pressure no longer follows a smooth rhythm. In younger adults, pressure dips gently during sleep, then rises in the morning. But after 60, that rhythm often breaks. Sudden surges, especially between 3 and 5 a.m., can spike unpredictably. And if your arteries are stiff or inflamed, those spikes can rupture vessels or dislodge clots. Second, your blood thickens while you sleep. Not because of anything you did wrong, but because you're simply moving less, drinking less, and your kidneys filter less during the night. That natural slowdown means even mild dehydration can turn your blood from a flowing river into something more like molasses. And third, your arteries age. They lose flexibility, like old garden hoses left out in the sun. In youth, vessels can expand and contract with ease. But as we age, they stiffen. Now imagine trying to push thick blood through a fragile tube, under pressure. That's the reality of your circulatory system after 60. Now combine all 3, stiff arteries, thick blood, and nighttime pressure spikes. What happens? You might never feel a thing. No chest pain, no warning. Just a quiet clot forming, or a tiny vessel leaking in your brain. Until one morning, your balance is off, your memory is fuzzy, or your words feel tangled. And here's the part many miss. These risks aren't just from poor health. They're often triggered by timing. Instead of helping your brain recover during sleep, certain foods eaten late, especially those that affect blood thickness, pressure, or inflammation, can quietly light the fuse for a stroke. So ask yourself, is your nighttime routine working with your body's changes, or working against them? Because the more you understand what shifts after 60, the more you can protect the parts that matter most. We've all heard that nuts are healthy, full of good fats, minerals, and brain-boosting nutrients, and that's true during the day. But what if 5 of the most common nuts, when eaten at night, could quietly thicken your blood, spike your pressure, or disrupt your brain's recovery? Not because they're bad foods, but because they're being eaten at the wrong time, by the wrong body. So before your next healthy snack, ask yourself, is this helping my brain rest, or silently making it fight? Let's walk through the 5 nuts that might be betraying your brain, one bedtime bite at a time. Let's begin with one of the most nutrient-dense nuts on the planet, Brazil nuts. They're packed with selenium, a powerful antioxidant that supports thyroid function, immune strength, and even brain health. In small doses, selenium can help reduce inflammation and support memory. So yes, Brazil nuts are a superfood in moderation. But here's the hidden problem. They're too rich. Just 2 Brazil nuts contain more than 200 micrograms of selenium. That's almost 400% of the recommended daily intake for older adults. And while your body needs selenium, it doesn't need that much, especially not at night. Why does that matter? Because selenium isn't water-soluble. It doesn't flush out like vitamin C. Instead, your body stores the extra in your liver, your bloodstream, even your brain. Over time, that buildup can make your platelets stickier, your blood more prone to clot, and your circulation slower, especially overnight when your detox systems are less active. A recent study in Nature Scientific Reports found that when daily selenium intake rose above 135 micrograms, the benefits disappeared, and risk for stroke and heart events began to climb. And remember, 2 Brazil nuts? Already over 200 micrograms. Now imagine eating them before bed, when your blood is already thickening, your arteries less flexible, and your body winding down. It's like sending a traffic jam through a narrow tunnel, in the dark. And if you're also taking a multivitamin with selenium, as many older adults do, you're stacking risks unknowingly. Risk on top of risk. So instead of trusting the label or the health claim, ask yourself, is this snack truly serving me right now? Because what supported your heart in your 40s may burden your brain in your 70s. A smarter choice? Limit Brazil nuts to 1, maybe 2 per day, but only in the morning, when your digestion is active and your body can handle the load. Remember, after 60, it's not about cutting out all nutrient-rich foods. It's about respecting your body's limits, its timing, and its changing chemistry. When you do that, even powerful foods like Brazil nuts can serve you, rather than silently harm you. Almonds have long been seen as the gold standard of smart snacking. They're low in sugar, rich in healthy fats, and packed with magnesium, a mineral that supports nerve health, blood pressure, and brain function. So why would they show up on a list of stroke risks? Because most people aren't eating plain, raw almonds. They're reaching for the roasted, salted kind, often straight from a shiny bag, while watching late-night TV. And here's the problem. Just one handful, about 20 pieces, can contain over 200 milligrams of sodium. That's more than 20% of the recommended daily limit for older adults. And if that handful becomes 2, you've now crossed 500 milligrams without realizing it. But sodium doesn't just raise your blood pressure in general. It does something much more dangerous overnight. Salt causes your body to retain water, increasing blood volume. For younger people, flexible arteries and strong kidneys can handle the shift. But after 60, with stiff vessels and slower filtration, that added volume can quietly spike pressure between 3 and 5 a.m., when your brain is most vulnerable. And the scariest part? You don't feel a thing. No dizziness, no warning. You're asleep while the damage unfolds. Tiny vessels in the brain, already fragile from age, can start to leak. Or worse, a clot can form in response to the sudden pressure. So ask yourself, is this evening treat worth silently overloading your system? Instead of salted almonds at night, try switching to plain, raw almonds earlier in the day, ideally soaked in water for a few hours to boost absorption and hydration. Why? Because when eaten during daylight, your body is more active, your blood vessels are more responsive, and your kidneys are better prepared to handle sodium. So rather than letting salt hijack your sleep, shift the timing and the type. You don't have to give up almonds, you just have to let them serve your health, not sabotage it. Cashews feel harmless. They're soft, creamy, satisfying. They don't taste salty, they don't look threatening, and they're often praised for being heart-friendly. But here's what most people don't realize. Cashews are one of the highest oxalate nuts available. And oxalates, while natural, can quietly become dangerous, especially after 60. What are oxalates? They're tiny compounds found in many plant foods. On their own, they're not toxic. But once consumed, they bind to calcium and form microscopic crystals. Shards, really. Your kidneys work to filter them out. But after 60, kidney function naturally declines. And when those crystals don't leave the body, they settle. In your kidney tissues, your bladder walls, even your blood vessels. Imagine fine sandpaper rubbing against the inside of your arteries. Slowly, repeatedly, night after night. That's what undigested oxalates can do. Over time, they trigger inflammation. They stiffen vessels. They thicken blood. And during sleep, when blood flow slows, those roughened vessel walls become prime spots for clotting or rupturing. There's even a documented case of a man developing kidney failure from eating large amounts of cashews daily. He thought he was helping his heart, but he was quietly overwhelming his kidneys with oxalates, and his body paid the price. So while cashews may seem like an innocent bedtime snack, they can pose a silent risk, especially for those with kidney concerns, high blood pressure, or dehydration. What's the better choice? Swap late-night cashews for lower oxalate nuts like macadamias or pistachios, and eat them earlier in the day. Even better, pair them with water to support flushing and balance, because instead of causing irritation while your body tries to rest, these swaps allow your circulation to move smoothly and silently, as it should. Remember, the goal isn't to fear food, it's to match food with the right moment in your body's rhythm. After 60, that rhythm has changed, and what your tongue enjoys at 9 p.m., your brain may pay for by 9 a.m. Sunflower seeds seem harmless. They're small, crunchy, familiar. For many older adults, they bring back memories, ball games, road trips, family snacks. And when compared to chips or cookies, they feel like a healthier choice. But here's what makes them risky. You don't notice how much you're eating. Because they're tiny and addictive, a handful becomes a cup. And that cup comes with 3 quiet threats, especially dangerous after 60. First, salt. Most sunflower seeds are heavily salted. In fact, a single serving can contain more sodium than a bag of potato chips. And remember, at night, sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure. It holds on to water, expands blood volume, and puts added stress on already aging vessels. Second, omega-6 fats. Sunflower seeds are loaded with them. While omega-6 is essential in small amounts, our modern diets already contain too much, fueling inflammation. And when blood vessels are inflamed and stiff, the smallest pressure change can lead to a crack, a leak, or a clot. Third, roasting oils. Most packaged sunflower seeds are roasted in industrial seed oils, high in oxidized fats. These fats age the arteries, increase oxidative stress, and burden your body when it should be resting and repairing. Now imagine all 3, salt, inflammation, and oxidized fats, working together in the background while you sleep. Do you think your brain can rest peacefully under that kind of pressure? Instead of using sunflower seeds as your evening crunch, choose pumpkin seeds, unsalted, raw, or lightly roasted. Even better, soak them before eating. Soaking helps reduce compounds that strain digestion and increases hydration support. Why? Because a smart snack should quiet the system at night, not stir it awake. Remember, just because something is better than chips doesn't mean it's safe for your brain at bedtime. After 60, even the smallest choices, especially the ones you don't notice, can leave lasting marks on your health. And sometimes, it's not what you eat, but how much, how often, and when you eat it. That makes all the difference. Walnuts are one of the best foods you can eat for your brain. Rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds, they've been shown to support memory, slow cognitive decline, and protect blood vessels. But timing matters. What helps your brain at 10 a.m. may quietly undermine it at 10 p.m. Why? Because fats take longer to digest. When you eat walnuts before bed, your body shifts resources to the gut. Blood is pulled toward the stomach to break down fat. At the exact time your brain needs that blood to repair, detox, and restore. It's like having your best house guest show up during a blackout. They mean well, but they need attention, light, and energy when your system is shutting down for the night. And there's another problem. Fat digestion, especially late in the day, can subtly raise cortisol, the body's stress hormone. That increase may be small, but it's enough to disturb deep sleep, delay brain recovery, and disrupt blood pressure rhythms. And for older adults, disrupted sleep isn't just a nuisance, it's a risk. Research has shown that poor quality sleep is linked to increased risk of stroke, memory loss, and cardiovascular events. So, while walnuts should help the brain, mistimed intake can do the opposite. Ask yourself, is this food supporting your body's current need, or asking it to multitask when it should be resting? Instead of eating walnuts at night, enjoy them in the morning or early afternoon. That's when your digestive power is strongest, your blood flow is more active, and your brain is ready to use the healthy fats for focus and clarity. Because after 60, it's not just what you eat. It's when your body can best use what you eat that matters most. The right food at the wrong time? Still the wrong food. So let's pause for a moment. We've just walked through 5 popular nuts, each praised for health benefits, each silently capable of harming you when eaten at the wrong hour. Not because they're bad, not because your body is broken, But because your system after 60 works differently, especially at night, instead of repairing, it's overloaded. Instead of resting, it's forced to manage salt, fat, pressure, or inflammation, all while you sleep. And the result? You wake up not knowing what happened, but your brain, your balance, or your memory may already be changed. So ask yourself, are you eating for who you were or for who you are now? Because when you start aligning your meals with your body's current rhythm, food becomes medicine again, not a risk. Let's shift the focus from restriction to realignment, from fear to action. Here's how to snack smarter after 60. Let's make this simple. You don't have to give up all your favorite foods. You don't need a radical diet. What you need is timing and a little wisdom. Here's a checklist to help your brain rest, your heart recover, and your blood stay steady while you sleep. 1. Eat nuts early. Enjoy them in the morning or by early afternoon. When your digestion is strong, your blood pressure is stable, and your brain can benefit from the fats and minerals. 2. Choose raw or dry roasted. Skip anything smoked, salted, or oil roasted. These add inflammatory fats and unnecessary sodium. Go for plain varieties, or soak them to improve digestion. 3. Hydrate smarter. Many seniors stop drinking in the evening to avoid nighttime trips to the bathroom. But even 1 cup of water after dinner can prevent your blood from thickening during sleep. 4. Replace evening snacks with gentle choices. Instead of salted seeds or heavy nuts, try a few slices of avocado with sea salt, a small baked sweet potato, soaked chia seeds in almond milk, unsweetened applesauce with cinnamon. These options are soft on your blood vessels and kind to your brain. 5. Avoid snacking within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. Give your system time to wind down. Think of this as giving your body room to repair, not process. Because the goal isn't perfection, it's protection. And the right snack, at the right time, in the right body? That's how you age with strength, clarity, and peace. Have you ever stopped to ask, what if the thing that comforts me most is quietly hurting me when I least expect it? Late-night snacks aren't just habits. They're memories, routines, small pleasures. But after 60, even those small choices can echo louder in your body. Instead of helping you wind down, they may be forcing your brain to fight through the night. So what would it look like to eat in a way that truly lets your body rest? Because you deserve more than sleep. You deserve deep, silent healing, without surprises in the morning. If this helped you rethink a small habit, let it ripple. Comment 1 if you've ever eaten nuts before bed, because you're not alone. And if you know someone over 60 who snacks late at night, send them this video. It might be the most important message they hear this week. And if you haven't yet subscribed, join us. Because this channel is for people who believe aging can still be powerful, when guided by clarity, compassion, and science. Living longer is only part of the goal. Living clear, strong, and steady, that's the real gift. Let's protect your brain while there's still time.